Now, if you look at the documents, we're going to start identifying which documents go with what. Document B, this is an Indian leader. Okay? Speaking to representatives. Now, if you had to take one thing out of there to show, there's going to be a really important statement issue that involves the Indians. This is going to help you explain that statement. Hey, what did we talk about yesterday? What did we talk about the other day? Something that really angered the colonists. They weren't allowed to do.
Move west.
Moved west. And that was what was the statement called that they issued? It's the end of the French and Indian War. 1763. Proclamation of 1763. You have to mention that. You can't get a 9 if you don't mention the Proclamation of 1763. Okay? Because they can't move west. That's another way. Okay? If you want to change if you want to put it as philosophy, the way it changed the relationship between the colonists and the British, you can put the Proclamation of 1763 down here. Because that's a huge change. But if you had to take one statement out of there in support of the Proclamation of 1763 in Document B, what would you take? Lincoln?
We are not well used with respect to the land still unsold by us.
Okay. But what about that part that your people daily settle on these lands and spoil our hunting? We must insist on your removing them, as you know they have no right to settle. Okay? I think you're in the right ballpark. I would take that quote out. Okay?
All right.
And that's going to explain the Proclamation of 1763. Now, when you use the quote, you're not going to say in Doc B. Okay? Chief, was it Castagiogo, basically in an address to representatives of the colonies in 1742, mentioned that basically your people settle on our lands. So even back then, the Indians are concerned with the colonists settling on their lands. And after 1763, why all of a sudden is there a land bonanza? Why do the colonists all of a sudden want a free-for-all and move out west? What changed? The French aren't there anymore. So in 1763, now the colonists are like, okay, free land, let's go. That guy's talking about 1742. So obviously, things are going to be worse with the colonists. Okay? Now, you also might mention, why do the British want to stop the colonists from moving? That would be because of what? Why do the British not want the colonists moving there? There was a major event. They almost lost all their forts.
Pontiac's Rebellion?
Pontiac's Rebellion.
All
right. Document C. George Washington, a letter to a guy who worked for General Edward Braddock. What part might you take out of there? What might you take out of document C to support? Or actually, this is going to be kind of used, this document C is going to be used to kind of explain the changing relationship. Because what is Washington really asking in document C?
A promotion. Maybe.
Well, like, almost like, not really a promotion, but almost like an internship. Like, he wants to work for Braddock. Why? Huh? So he can take over. Well, he's talking about
attain some knowledge of the military profession.
right. He's asking. I'd basically like to serve. I'd like to volunteer. I'd like to help out so I can learn something and further my career. Now, this is in what year? 1755. He's writing this. Okay. So at the outset of the French and Indian War, this is showing you, okay, the colonists kind of want to work with the British. They want to be friends with them. So that's where you're going to show, like, philosophy. Document C is actually going to go with probably political. Okay? Or, I mean, you could also put it with ideology, but basically it shows this. What document C is showing you, the colonists kind of tried to want to get along with them. They wanted to work with them.
So George Washington was a colonist and Braddock was British, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now in document D is going to be used to show another change. Okay? In document D, what is the Massachusetts soldier saying?
On which day?
What's the most important thing in there, he says?
And though we be Englishmen born, that little part, we are debarred for Englishmen's liberty.
Yes. And we being here with stone walls and not like to get liquors and clothes at this time of year, and though we be Englishmen born, yeah, we are denied Englishmen's liberty. Therefore, we now see what it is to be under martial law and to be with the British regulars who are but little better than slaves to their officers. And when I get out of their power, I shall take care of how I get in again. So basically, what have the colonists realized about the British?
They stopped using them.
They're using them, they don't really want to be with them, or they suck, okay? That's pretty much his point. This is 1759. So it's showing you that different people had different views, okay? One of the things is, maybe use document D to show how the colonists really don't want to be under British authority. They don't want to be under the political power of the British and they want to get out of it, okay? Now,
So that one
document,
goes with political.
I would say C and D both go with political, showing you the colonists really didn't want to be under British authority. They didn't really want to be under British control. It started out, George Washington was kind of like, yeah, this could work. We'll try this. And then the Massachusetts guy is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's think about this here. Look at how they treat their own people. And then look at how they're going to treat us. Now, I'm going to skip E and go to F. Now, in F, what is the most revealing thing about F? Or actually, where would you guys even put this? Which main point would document F go with?
Economics.
Yeah, it's talking about money, so it's going to go with economics. So Doc F is going to go with economics. Now in there, what does he say is going to support your point about how the economy changed, or how the economic relationship between England and America changed?
It's talking about how they want to represent the colonies.
Well, they're talking about neglect in here.
We observe with concern, yes, that's exactly. We observe with concern that through neglect, connivance, and fraud, not only is revenue impaired, but the commerce of the colonies diverted from its natural course. So what does he mean with that statement?
Thought they changed their sentence.
And they're not helping the British colonies because they're obviously not paying taxes. They're not selling goods just to England. They're trading throughout the world, which is what we call smuggling. But
I'm drinking restless.
this revenue is more indispensable when the military establishment necessary for maintaining the colonies requires a large revenue to support it. And when their vast increase in territory and population makes the proper regulation of their trade of immediate necessity. Now you can split this up. You can split this up into two parts, and that's what I do. I take this first part and explain that and talk about it. And then once you've done that, I've explained that basically here, the British, in the statement in their orders in council, are saying, look, we've just upped the amount of territory. We've just increased the amount of people we have. It requires a large garrison, a large income. How are they going to get that income?
Taxes.
Taxes. And that's where you talk about these then, how they're going to generate revenue and income. Document G. Which one do you think document G goes with?
Well, the stamp act was first like keywords.
The what?
It says stamp.
Oh, okay. So he's protesting the Stamp Act. So which one are you going to put that with? Economics. Document G, you're going to take out part of there. Part of what Franklin says, you're going to take a quote.
It's
I
on
mean, if it continues your undertaking to execute, it may make you unpopular for a time. Okay? What I would say is
But
that
your
Franklin.
coolness.
Yeah, but your coolness and steadfastness. I mean, what Franklin is basically saying, look, if you do this, the colonists aren't going to like you very much. So you need to think carefully about what you're doing. Because we know they're going to protest the Stamp Act. I mean, basically, if you look at document H, what does this go with?
Well, I'm trying to decide if the skulls are always there, if this was just like a one.
No, the skulls are not always there.
Okay.
Economics. Both G and H go with economics because what they are showing you is that the colonists really don't appreciate the taxation.
Is
Okay?
that why they have the little like thing where the stamp should be and it says this is the proper place to affix the stamp?
Yes, the skull and the crossbones.